Hello, Bruce.
Hi, Simon.
How are you today?
I'm recovering still.
Still. Honestly, these colds lasting longer and longer these days, aren't they?
It's ridiculous.
Terrible.
It's really sad.
It's like 4 episodes now.
Yes, I can't help it.
No.
I sound okay, though, I think.
Oh, you sound great. Yeah.
Yeah.
In between the splutterers.
In between the coughing.
And hello to everyone listening to us from wherever you are. My name is Simon Wells.
My name is not Simon Wells.
For now, we'll call you Bruce Fielding because it's easier.
Okay. That's my nom de podcast.
That'll do it, yeah. And we are here together. We are both professional voiceover artists. We do voicey stuff for a living.
We do.
And then we come here and we do more voicey stuff just for the fun of it. Bruce and I are fact-loving nerds.
Sadly.
Happily. Each week we come here onto Factoraly, we pick a random topic and we chat about it for about half an hour and see if we can pick any interesting things out of it for you guys at home to listen to.
Yeah, our subject this week has fallen down a well.
Oh, what's that sound? I heard something in the background. Is that you, Skip? What's that? You're actually a voiceover artist named Gregory Dwyer. Excellent. Let's bring him in. So this week, we are joined by the fabulous Greg Dwyer. Hello, Greg.
Hello, Simon. G'day, Bruce.
G'day.
Oh, I've been wanting to say that for ages. I could never quite muster the cultural appropriation of doing it, so thank you.
We've got it. I thought it's the only time we get to do it. Welcome to the University of Woolloomooloo.
So whereabouts are you, Greg?
I'm in Queensland, Australia. The state on the eastern side up the top. It goes up to the pointy bit, for those people who don't know.
And how's the weather with you?
We have actually had a brilliant day of sunshine, except it was very hot because we were drafting some of the cattle. So it was pretty intense work.
I bet. So, Bruce, this week's episode.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So what we're doing is we are jumping to it with an episode on kangaroos. You know, there's got to be a reason why we brought Greg in. Right?
Our native expert. So, kangaroos, eh?
As they were called here, the kangaroo, which was the black kangaroos of Cooktown.
Very good.
So it's not true that they were called I don't know.
No, that's that lovely myth that goes with it. Yeah, the Cooktown kangaroos were black kangaroos, and they were called kangaroo. Whereas, like Sydney used to refer to them as yonka or thuru.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And kangaroo comes from a local language which I'm going to completely mispronounce. Gugu Yumadir?
Gugu Yamata.
Yamata. Okay, there we go.
And I've probably pronounced it incorrectly as well, because you can have a local dialect.
Sure.
When I was working up the Cape, we had a word in the community I was in Wickmolken, and then if you went, 30 k's down the road, that same word had a totally different meaning.
Okay.
But in the great tradition of Apocrypha being real, what's the story about I don't know?
When they first saw the kangaroo, Europeans had never seen a kangaroo, of course, and so they were first meeting some of the local people, and kangaroos often come down to the beach areas, and because the sailors were on the beach areas, they saw this animal and asked, as best they could, what's that? And apparently the local person said kangaroo, which means I don't know. And, of course, that's where that lovely mythology began on that story, yeah.
I'd much rather believe that.
It's more enjoyable, isn't it? More enjoyable.
Much more fun.
But I love the idea of Captain James Cook heading to Queensland in 1770 and seeing this weird creature for the first time and just accepting, the first person who gave them a name for it.
So what is a kangaroo, Simon?
It's one of those big jumpy things that you find in Australia, isn't it?
It's a marsupial.
It's a marsupial, yeah. Marsupials are weird, I've come to the conclusion. There are sort of quite a lot of animals that are marsupials, and they include kangaroos, wallabies, wombats, koalas, Tasmanian devils, bandicoots, possums, and bilbies. I've never heard of a bilby.
Oh, bilbies are great.
Are they?
They tried to replace the bilby in Australia for Easter as the Easter bilby rather than the Easter rabbit, because bilbies have very big ears.
Okay.
And they're a small burrowing creature out here in Australia.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
Apparently delicious.
Is it?
Well, chocolate ones apparently, yes.
But apparently marsupials, their defining feature is that they give birth to a not completely formed offspring, and then they continue to develop within their mother's pouch. And that's something that only marsupials do. So you sort of get this tiny little pink thing inside the mother's pouch that just pretty much looks like an embryo, and then it carries on growing and turning into a proper baby.
Well, it actually, it leaves the, technically it leaves the cloaca.
Right.
And climbs, as this little jelly bean-sized embryo, it climbs up to the pouch from the tail of the mother, the base of the tail. So you sort of imagine that at that sort of size and what effort it takes.
Yeah.
But the mother, I mean, I love this reproduction thing on kangaroos because they can sort of be perpetually pregnant but not actually give birth.
All right.
And they can also give birth to two independently over a period of weeks. So you get one which is maturing at a different rate to the other, and the mother can give different milks to the different joeys.
No.
Yes, and she can actually have 5 young in a year.
Right.
Because it's such a short gestation period.
Huh.
So she can have one out of the pouch, one in the pouch, one in suspension and one in development. And then as soon as that one's gone, they rotate out. Yeah, and if it's a really bad season, of course, they can suspend the growth of the embryo.
Wow. That's a full-time job. Kangaroo motherhood.
Absolutely. This is probably why they outnumber Australians 3-1.
3-1?
In the known cultivated statistics, yes.
Do you think there's even more then?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes. It's like, that's that lovely thing they say about camels. We have more camels in Australia than they do in the entire Saudi Arabian area.
Yes.
And then when you think, no, hardly ever see a camel until you get out in the wilds.
Yeah.
Please see our episode on camels.
Yes.
I was just going to say that, yes.
There you go. So apparently kangaroos, or at least kangaroo-like animals, have been around for quite a long time. All kangaroo-related things, so kangaroos, wallabies, that sort of thing, can all be traced back about 24 million years to a common ancestor called the Paleopatorus, which is Latin for, roughly speaking, ancient rat kangaroo.
Okay.
Great name. Much smaller, thinner tail, but it still looks kangaroo-y.
And we used to have a giant kangaroo in Australia.
Did you?
Yeah, which is part of that whole Diprotodontia.
Sure.
Yes.
How big was this then?
12 feet.
Flippin' heck.
Wow.
That's a big old kangaroo.
That's you two standing on each other's shoulders, basically.
Oh,
isn't it?
man.
You wouldn't want to hit that with a ute.
Speaking of that, I read a statistic that 9 out of 10 animal road collisions involve a kangaroo.
You reckon that's not right, Greg?
Road-related deaths. So, like, if you take 2020, there were 541 animal-related deaths in Australia. And
is that the animal dying or the human being dying in
No,
come into
that's
contact
animal-related, as in causing the death of a human.
Gotcha.
In the statistics. So 37 involve kangaroos. The biggest killer in Australia of people are horses.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes, because I think it was 157 horse-related deaths, people falling off horses, hit by horses, crushed by horse,
Yeah.
I mean, when you think sharks only killed 27, the fact that kangaroos are responsible for 37, So.
That's quite a good stat. And so because of the kangaroo presence on the roads, I believe you have something called roo bars on your cars.
Oh, yes. Yes, I even have one on the vehicle. I've just travelled around Australia a couple of years ago, and...
Right.
I was just sort of looking at a piece of footage of a kangaroo about 20 metres away from us going along when we're going through South Australia, and this kangaroo's just pacing the car. We're doing about 65, 70, and he's come down this hill and he's just pacing along, and then he just decided he wanted to go to the other side of the road. And I kid you not, 70-degree change, kept the same speed up. Within 2.5 bounds, he was in the middle of the road and gone.
Wow.
I mean, they can be faster than racehorses, and they can go like 44 miles an hour.
Particularly on short distances, yeah. But I used to travel between Cunnamulla and Charleville a lot with my previous occupation. And until they put up the exclusion fences, it was not unusual to see 100 to 200 in the 200 kilometres, just either standing at the side of the road or suddenly crossing. And of course, travelling at night, I used to say to people, you're travelling at 100 kilometres an hour or 80 in some of the zones. And it's like passing through a school zone. You imagine doing that at 80 kilometres an hour at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
That's what it's like, because these animals they just suddenly think, I'll jump across the road now. I can see the road with the lights.
Wow.
I had one car written off in one night from 3 different collisions. So I lost the front, I lost the side door, and I lost the driver's door.
Oh, my goodness.
They're mainly nocturnal, though, aren't they?
Are they?
Yeah, they lie around a lot during the day. That lovely thing, just lying on the side in the shade of a tree on the hot part of the day.
What's that thing? Simon, you had a word for animals that like that point between...
Oh, yeah. Come on, brains. Is it diurnal?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Well
they sort of like dusk time. They like the evenings. So they're diurnal.
Well remembered.
Thank you.
Very nicely remembered. We drove from a location, South Queensland, heading back up to base. There were 3 vehicles travelling almost as a convoy, and there would have been 250 plus kangaroos, and it was right on sunset. And so we had the sun right in our eyes, and suddenly these animals just started coming between the 3 cars, and it was like, just stop. No point trying to drive, because they're not going to get out of our way, and just waited till they all went past.
Yeah.
Because I heard that sunset was the most dangerous thing in Australia, because it sort of blinds you as you're driving along.
Right. So mix that with a troop of kangaroos and you've got issues.
Oh, a troop. Yeah. Or a mob of kangaroos.
Now,
Yes.
you got a herd, a mob. What was the other one?
A troop.
A troop.
A troop.
Yeah.
And a court.
Oh.
A court of kangaroos.
Yes. You can say a court of kangaroos, but a kangaroo court is something else, of course.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Fine. Okay.
That's what I thought you were getting at.
Right.
No, you can actually say it's a court of kangaroos when they're travelling as a group.
Right.
If you don't say mob, but it's generally referred to as a mob.
Okay.
But yeah, and we know what a kangaroo court is.
Fine. Yeah.
Yes.
That's something else.
So we're talking about them, being fairly dangerous on the roads. They're quite dangerous in water as well, apparently.
They can swim, can't they? They can swim quite
They can
well.
swim a long way.
Yeah.
They've been seen like 7 miles offshore in Australia. Yeah.
Huh.
They're known to avoid their predators quite often by running into the water, like dingoes or something.
Yeah.
And if the dingo's coming after them, they've actually been known to hold the dingoes' heads underwater and drown them.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I read somewhere that if they're really in a bit of an argument with a dingo, they've been known to sort of clamp the dingo's head in its forearms and kick so violently with their hind legs that they could actually disembowel said dingo. What a way to go, eh?
Disemboweled by a kangaroo. Well, it's better than boxing.
Yes, go on.
Because kangaroos were renowned for their boxing prowess.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
If you have a look on YouTube, you'll see any number of boxing kangaroos videos, not just boxing each other, but people who've thought, I'll go and have a go at this kangaroo. And you watch this kangaroo deal with this person, it's like, their aggression factor can be huge. And you're dealing with sometimes even a grey kangaroo, like the Western grey is, he's 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
If he stands up. They've recently seen some that are nearly 9 feet tall.
Wow.
And, and you think, hang on, their feet are 1/3 their height. So you're getting hit with a 3-foot sledgehammer in the stomach.
Wow.
That's not great.
And the place to see that, of course, would be on the blog, on Factoraly.com.
Factoraly.com?
That's where I put lots and lots of very useless information and stuff that sends you down. Well, kangaroos don't live in holes, do they?
No. Rabbit holes. No.
So it would be a rabbit hole.
Could be a bilby hole.
Oh, it could be a bilby hole.
Yeah.
I'll send you down the bilby hole.
There you go. And if you'd like to know what a bilby hole is, go to factoraly.com and you'll find out. So we've talked about mobs, courts, troops, etc. There seem to be quite a lot of different names and terminology for kangaroos. So male kangaroos are called bucks, or boomers, or jacks. Females are called does, flyers, or jills. And the young uns are called joeys. Do we know why a young kangaroo is called a joey?
Nope, I bet you do.
No, I don't. That was a genuine question. I looked it up and there's no definitive answer.
We've talked about them going around in herds or troops or courts. How do they communicate with each other?
In a thick Australian accent? I don't know.
It's actually, their communication is very much similar to, the concept you'll see with rabbits. They don't bang the ground, But they will, from a low position, they will come up fully erect. And when you see one do it, you suddenly see 3 or 4 others will all do it exactly the same.
Oh,
So it's visual.
a bit like meerkats.
Like a visual thing. And they will, as soon as one starts to move, you'll see 3, even if the others don't know what's going on, they'll all just start following the movement.
Right.
But apparently there's no real vocal communication between them.
Right.
But, when you hear them go past, you can see why they've picked up the vibration, something's happening, and we're all moving.
So So the clicky thing, is that just between mothers and joeys, just between Jills and Joeys?
Family, small family, yeah.
Right.
It's not a thing that they do over distance or anything like that with each other.
Okay.
Right. And of course, it's something that they use to communicate impending danger with young human beings on TV shows.
Oh, yes.
Are we going to talk about Skippy?
Well, it's the kangaroo in the room, isn't it? It was going to happen sooner or later.
So tell me about Skippy.
Well, I'm going to actually play the youth card here and say that I've never seen an episode of Skippy the Bush Kangaroo because I'm just too damn young. So, over to you guys.
Well, Skippy was a rescue. The dad was a ranger, and the family were living out in the bush. And the dad flew a helicopter, which was probably one of the big attractions for the TV series.
Right.
So you got a lot of aerial and you got a lot of helicopter action, flying and landing in these strange places and in amongst the wildlife.
Yeah.
But they had a communication. So as Bruce mentioned, down a well.
Yes.
Yes.
So
it was like the Australian equivalent of
Lassie.
Lassie.
Yeah.
Lassie, yes.
You're
Very
right,
good.
It is, isn't it?
Or Flipper.
Oh, yes.
And then, of course, they remade Flipper in Australia recently.
Did they?
Using some of the dolphins from SeaWorld.
Oh.
And it was filmed here and, it didn't succeed as well as the original for some reason.
Yeah. I've just realised as we were saying this, I've actually always had the theme tune of Skippy the Bush Kangaroo mixed up with Flipper. So in my head, it goes Flipper, Flipper, Flipper the Bush Kangaroo. So apparently Skippy ran from 1968 to 1970. It had 91 episodes.
Is that all?
Yeah. I thought it was
for something that
more than
became ubiquitous.
It's sort of like Fawlty Towers, isn't it? You think Fawlty Towers went on for decades, but there were only about 13 episodes, weren't there?
Yes, 12.
12. Not very many.
Not very many.
So was any of that based on real experience? Are kangaroos known for communicating with humans?
For rescuing people down wells? No.
Not at all. Entirely fictitious. Right.
There's a very big movement in about the time of the show. People like Harry Butler in the wild. He would go out on his walking treks and he'd reach down a hole and pull out a goanna or something, and it became a real wildlife interest. There was an attraction. Now, the koala wasn't considered active enough to be a major character in a TV series. And then someone came up with the idea of, well, why not a kangaroo? Because we've got our national parks and wildlife people sort of trying to raise the awareness of parks and wildlife. And it became a bit of a character idea and, of course, a very Australian symbol.
Yeah.
Well, it's on the money now, isn't it? Stamps.
Oh, yes. There's kangaroos on money. I think the Royal Air Force have kangaroos as one of their emblems.
The Royal Australian Air Force.
Yes.
Well, our coat of arms, of course, is a kangaroo and an emu.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yes, so you've got the kangaroo and the emu, and it's quite funny because you've got, Edward VII and George V, was it?
Yes,
Possibly.
could be.
Yes. So George V approved the coat of arms, the original coat of arms, which was a kangaroo and an emu holding a shield with a sheep export and a wheat export. And that was in about 1907. And then in 1912, they redesigned it because the states complained that they had no representation in it because it only represented Victoria and New South Wales.
Right.
So they redesigned it.
So
Now,
they put a box jellyfish on it.
no, but what happened was, when you think about it, why did they choose the emu and the kangaroo?
Because they're delicious.
Brilliant. Because they were English and they didn't know better?
No, because neither of those two animals can walk backwards.
That's true.
Okay.
So they wanted Australia to be a forward-going nation, so they chose those two to represent it. The funny thing is, of course, they're facing each other on the coat of arms, holding a shield between them. So if they both go forward, neither of them are going to move.
Yes.
Which really says a lot about Australia.
So what do kangaroos eat?
Big grass eaters. That's why a lot of the farmers don't like them who have cattle and sheep,
Right.
because they will come in and they chew it right down to the nub in the ground.
And they've got double stomachs like cows.
Actually, no, they have they have a tube-shaped stomach. And one of the great things about them is that they don't produce as much methane as cows.
I'd heard that. They don't fart.
They're, about 20% less per body volume than methane produced by a cow.
So they're quite green, not contributing to greenhouse gases.
Not as badly, but unfortunately they damage the ground a lot more that they eat from, which is another reason why, mobs move so much.
I had a look into this whole thing that when other animals create methane that escapes as gas, not just through farting and burping, but just through breathing, with kangaroos, that hydrogen is turned through a process of fermentation back into acetate, and then that generates more energy. So actually the kangaroos are very, very energy efficient in terms of consumption and expulsion compared to all these farty cows and sheep. They're actually quite efficient. Scientists are apparently interested in looking into the bacteria responsible for that process to see if they can put it into cows so that cows will produce less methane.
Oh, wow.
Change the actual enzymes in the stomach.
Yeah.
Because they also have that, what do they call it, polyphodonty?
What, teeth?
They keep growing teeth. So they wear their molars down, but they actually, new ones grow behind them all the time, as opposed to like when we wear ours down, that's it.
Yeah.
Kangaroos can keep producing the molars and replacing them.
The molars shift forward in their jaw over time, and then new ones grow behind them, and then those eventually shift forward. And apparently the only other two creatures that do that are elephants and manatees.
Thank you. I was trying to think it's an elephant and the other one. I couldn't remember the other
one. So, kangaroo meat. Let's talk about that for a minute. Kangaroos have always been hunted for their meat, for their skin to be used as leather. Apparently, there are some local tribes who, centuries ago, used to use a stuffed kangaroo scrotum to play a game of football with. So they've been hunted for different...
That's quite a small football.
Well, maybe they got a really, really well-endowed kangaroo, I don't know.
Maybe they played a handball game with it,
Yeah,
it's about the size of a squash ball.
Yeah, maybe. Is kangaroo meat still consumed?
Yes. Even in our supermarkets, you can usually get it. It's become very expensive. It used to be one of those cheap meats because people were farming it. So many are now culled for dog meat.
Yes, you can buy it over here.
An average hunter can get a license, and they're allowed to. I think the maximum they can do in a night is about 100 kangaroos. Wow. And they have to do a headshot. They're not allowed any other shot on the kangaroo, so they must kill it with a headshot.
Right.
And some of these guys are very good at it, of course, because you'll put a spotlight on the kangaroo, go, what's that?
And hop off. Yeah.
But they're only allowed also particular types, like a red kangaroo or the Western grey. You're not allowed some of the others. And it is monitored, and you have to produce the tags. So they're licensed in that way. But they do something like, I think it's 600,000 a year are culled in Australia. It doesn't affect the population.
So how many are there then?
How many kangaroos?
Yeah.
Well, in the known cultivated areas, there's about 42 million. But that's when they only do the surveys in the areas of cultivation as opposed to the whole country.
Wow, it's a lot of kangaroos.
I mean, it's delicious. I've had kangaroo meat. It's very nice.
I personally used to eat it when I used to eat more meat. I used to eat kangaroo as a preference. It's a game meat, isn't it, Bruce?
It's very healthy. I mean, it's very low in cholesterol. It's much healthier for you than cow.
Right. Okay.
Definitely, and it's got a lovely strength to it. You actually chew it.
Yeah, the texture is really nice.
The texture,
and you can make it into like a dried meat as well, which is very nice.
The other thing is when you're talking about kangaroos in Australia is, toponyms.
Toponyms, what's that?
That's when a name is associated by description.
Oh, I see, yeah.
But when you talk about land in Australia, kangaroo something, kangaroo lake, kangaroo valley, kangaroo bay, kangaroo rocks, kangaroo cliffs, kangaroo points, kangaroo mountain, kangaroo island, kangaroo, they're like, what will we name this? I don't know. Well, there's a kangaroo, we'll say it's Kangaroo Island,
Yeah, no, a friend of mine spends a lot of time on Kangaroo Island.
It's quite a nice place.
Yeah. Hi, Peggy.
But then we've got kangaroo dogs, kangaroo paws. Do you know what kangaroo paws are?
It's when they wait.
Nice try. They're a flower, and there are several variations of it, and the flower part are actually the shape of a kangaroo's paw.
Oh, really?
You talked about things being named after kangaroos. I mean, that includes tennis players, doesn't it?
Okay, try and make the link. No, go on, tell us.
Who's one of the most famous female tennis players that you know? Australian female tennis player.
Goolagong.
Yes. So Goolagong translates as kangaroo's nose.
Really?
Yes. So
That's
Yvonne
it?
Goolagong's last name is kangaroo's nose.
Brilliant.
I never heard that before. That's a good one.
There you go. We're all on a constant journey of learning here.
Always.
You're welcome. You talked about them being sort of quite strong and sort of muscly. There was one called Roger. Do you know about Roger? Roger the ripped kangaroo.
I've heard of this. Who is Roger?
So Roger was rescued in Alice Springs, and the people who rescued him was Joey. Actually made the Alice Springs Kangaroo Sanctuary around
Right.
Roger. And then they started to look after other orphaned animals in the sanctuary. But Roger grew into this really muscle-bound, kind of really muscly-looking, ripped, hench kangaroo. And they took some pictures of Roger, and it went viral on the internet. So he's sadly now not with us. But I'll put some pictures of Roger on the blog. And when you look at him, you go, "Wow, I wish I had a body like that."
and there are some of them. I mean, they used to tour them around the country in the 1920s and 30s with the boxing tents.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the indigenous people used to, sort of make a bit of a living by travelling with the boxing tents. And when you consider they can do, how many pounds do you think they can strike with? How many pounds of force?
Oof. More than me.
No, actually. They're actually the same as a human. 275 pounds is what they can hit with.
Really?
Okay.
That's with the paws, with the forearms.
That's with the paws,
as
not
opposed to
the feet. Yeah. They don't walk.
They don't walk.
No. Kangaroos will lift both legs using their tail. That's the other great thing about the tail. So when they run, the tail's for balance, but when they're on the ground, they use it like a third leg to sit back, stand up, push off with.
Yeah.
And when they move forward, you sort of think, oh, they don't move like, we'd take half step.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't. They literally lift both feet.
Well, I suppose they're wearing giant clown shoes, aren't they? They're quite hard to walk properly.
But they can jump like 25 feet.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I think actually 16 metres, I think, is the...
16?
16 metres, I think, was the length that was recorded. Because, in the wild and in captivity, did you see the difference there?
No.
In the wild, they live about 8 years. In captivity, 25.
Good grief.
I guess that's because they don't have any predators and they have a good diet.
Life is good. They get fed. No stress.
Wow. 3 times as long. That's quite impressive, actually.
How long do you reckon we live in the wild?
Couple of days.
I've been out in some of the wild out here, and unfortunately, it's very harsh conditions, and it requires a certain skill. You have to admire the early nomads of the Aboriginal nomadic people.
Yeah.
How hard it must have been just to get from place to place.
But kangaroos can go without water for a long time. It's a bit like camels, I guess.
Oh, can they?
They can go without water for months.
Actually, this is the other thing with kangaroos, how they cool themselves. You would have seen that they lick their paws because that's where the blood comes closest to the surface. So they lick them to cool down.
It's evaporation on the paws, yeah.
Yeah. And we just thought they were doing it to look cute. So another famous kangaroo I looked at, I was just sort of having a look around at all these different cartoon kangaroos and so on, and I came across Kanga and Roo from the Winnie the Pooh stories. And I hadn't really realised this. Kanga is the only female character in all of Winnie the Pooh. And apparently, as with the other creatures, these were actually a stuffed toy animal that Christopher Robin, the son of A.A. Milne, owned. So A.A. Milne, he sort of started buying more and more cuddly toys to go with the existing bear, donkey, piglet, tiger. And then he bought the kangaroos. And Milne said, I acquired these additional toys not just for the delight they might give their new owner, but also for their literary possibilities. So when he bought the kangaroos, he was already thinking of, what characters can I put in my book next? So they were quite deliberate.
Wow.
And Little Roo's such a wonderful character. Just so 3-year-old, 2-year-old behaviour. Yeah.
Energetic, no concern for the results of his actions. It's very cute.
And there are other songs about kangaroos, of course, unfortunately.
There's one we won't mention.
There's one we won't mention. There's one that you've already mentioned.
Right.
But then you start to look at the idea that a kangaroo jumps and it's got a pouch. So they use it a lot with children's songs.
Okay.
And I mean, they are pretty mind-numbing, for any parent who knows they're going to have to listen to the song 300 or 400 times over a few days. You have things like the Pounce Patrol doing Do, Do, Do the Kangaroo.
Great.
Angela Twig's The Kangaroo Song. The Lulu Kids Jump Like a Kangaroo. The Kangaroo Hop.
Yes.
But then you get a serious band who does something like the Beggars, the band The Beggars, who do Kangaroo as a genuine sort of Aussie-sounding rock song.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, there is a version of the song that I wasn't going to mention by Pat Boone.
Okay.
So let's talk about Pat Boone's version of Tie Me Kangaroo Down Sport.
Okay. Go on then.
So can you actually tie a kangaroo down?
Good luck catching it. Medically, vets have treated kangaroos, and they usually sort of get to a point where they have to tranquilise them to be able to get in to treat them.
Yeah.
Even the kangaroos that are zoos and things like that. If the kangaroo does not want to be held, he does not want to be held. I mean, I don't know if you've ever... I've sort of helped hold down wild deer, and they're about 200 kilos, but when you think that some of these kangaroos can hit 300 kilos in weight...
Wow.
And if you grab one and you think you're going to hold that, well, good luck.
So the request on behalf of the singer for Sport to tie down his aforementioned kangaroo is quite hopeful.
Yes. It does mention wallabies as well, doesn't it, the song?
Wallabies a little. You can pick up a wallaby.
Yeah. Well, it's Watch Me Wallabies. It's Keep Me Cockatoo Cool. Mind Me Platypus Duck. Take Me Koala Back Jack. Yeah, he talks about platypuses and didgeridoos and all sorts of things in this song.
So let's move swiftly on to the fact that kangaroos are left-handed.
Are they?
Yes.
They're not.
Yeah.
And that was the thing I found most surprising. They
Yeah.
are left-handed, apparently. The majority of kangaroos are left-handed.
See our episode on elephants?
Oh, yeah.
Because elephants are also handed.
Yeah, or left-trunked.
So a kangaroo favours the left.
It's one of those, you sort of look at it, what difference does it make whether a kangaroo is left or right? But you think of kangaroos and you think of them standing there and they stand up. And because they're left or right-handed, which way are they going to turn first?
Okay, yeah.
Left.
To the left. And if you see a mob stand up and move all in one, they don't often cross paths. They literally go as a bit like the starlings. You watch the starling mermations.
Yeah.
And you think, how do they not crash into each other? They seem to be changing direction so fast. In kangaroos, when they're jumping and you see them change direction as a group, occasionally they scatter.
Yeah.
That's usually because something else has disturbed them.
Yeah.
But when they go as a group, you just wonder, how do they all know when to turn at the same time?
Brilliant. And I think they tend to sort of lead with their left paw when they're grooming and washing themselves as well, don't they?
Yeah.
So whilst there are terrible diseases in the world, who's done the research to discover that kangaroos are left-handed?
Someone with lots of time and a very large budget.
Wow.
Well, someone did the study to find out which way cockroaches turn when they come to a wall.
Sorry?
And guess which way they turn?
Do they go left?
Yes. Israeli University did a study, and they identified that a cockroach, when it comes to a wall, will tend to turn to the left. So if you're going to squish a cockroach, favour the left side.
So at this point in the show, Simon often comes up with some Guinness records about things.
He does.
Yes, I've got a few. They're sort of quite predictable. Longest, biggest, furthest, etc. The longest kangaroo jump that's been measured was in New South Wales in 1951. A female kangaroo made a series of jumps and someone was sort of driving alongside measuring them. And one of her jumps, the longest one, measured 12.8 metres or 42 feet.
What?
Yeah.
Was that going downhill with the following wind?
It didn't stay.
But that's an average for a grown kangaroo, That's pretty, that's a huge...
42 feet.
Yeah, that's quite a jump. We've got one for the highest jump. There was a captive eastern grey kangaroo once jumped over an 8-foot fence after being startled by a car backfiring.
That's why our exclusion fences are very high.
Yes.
Because they'll clear a basic fence and some of them can even get up to the top of an exclusion fence.
That's crazy.
Goodness me.
Yep.
My last record isn't really anything to do with the kangaroo, but it's kind of to do with the kangaroo. The world's biggest coin has a kangaroo on it. It's called the Australian kangaroo coin. It weighs 1 tonne. It's made of gold bullion, and it has a face value of 1 million Australian dollars.
Is this one of those things that banks pass from bank to bank, just like a
It's a showpiece, yeah.
like a
It's a
note?
showpiece, I think, at the Australian Mint. It's it's the copy of the actual coin, which is a lot smaller, that we carry in our pocket as a souvenir to remind us of what we could aspire to.
Oh, is that right? And I believe it's got a kangaroo on one side, and is it the Queen on the other side? Can't remember.
It's like-
Originally, yes. I don't think they've minted new ones yet with the king.
Okay. But yeah, it's not practical. It's not the sort of thing you take into the local newsagents and buy a chocolate bar and a newspaper and get some change, is it?
No, true.
So yeah, there you go. Those are my kangaroo-related records.
Thanks very much, Simon. And thank you very much, Greg.
Yes, thank you for coming along, Greg. Have you enjoyed yourself?
I have. It's been lovely. And as I said, you can edit out anything I've said incorrectly, so that's good.
Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for coming to join us today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give us a like.
Or you can give us a 5-star review and tell us why you like kangaroos.
That would be even better. And then hit the subscribe button so the next time an episode pops up, you can get a lovely notification to say that it's there.
Or tell your friends in Australia.
What's that, Skip? You've been listening to a new podcast called Factoraly. So there we go. Thank you for coming along. Please join us next time for another fun-filled factual episode of
Factoraly.
Goodbye.
What's Australian for goodbye?
See ya.